Law Warrior Solaris. Cathay. Cathay embodies the contrasts of Solaran society more clearly than any other quarter. Wealthy Laoists live in luxury high above the houses of poorer citizens, the latter mostly foreign labourers brought in to keep Cathay running. Plagued by serious crime and gang activity, Cathay has developed a ruthlessly efficient police force, which responds swiftly to overt crime. Despite this, corruption in the police department and crime continue to exist. Though the lowlands and Rivertown are both places of great poverty and desperation, the highlands are probably the most luxurious region on Solaris, where wealth and nobility buy the best of everything. City Administration. Capellan High Court. The Capellans on Solaris prefer to try their own criminals, and those slum gang or triad members captured in infrequent sweeps of the city often wind up here, where Liao judges mete out heavy sentences. Gang leaders and high-level operators rarely end up in court, however, preferring to simply grease palms in lieu of trial. This building contains a security station manned by veteran guards and an underground cell complex that can hold up to 100 prisoners. Widely considered escape-proof, the High Court and its attendant facilities are a place most criminals would just as soon avoid. Cathay Security Headquarters. This grim, brooding structure is the control centre for Cathay Security, nearly 1,000 well-armed personnel. Their equipment includes small arms, some support weaponry, armoured personnel carriers, and battle mech support, should the need ever arise. Major military action against Capellan citizens has rarely been necessary, raising questions about the need for such a heavily armed force. Many claim that the Capellans keep the force here in case of a possible military coup. Security Station. Though some sections of the slums, notably the maze, are off limits to security forces, Lao authorities do maintain a strong presence here. The main security post is heavily fortified, its garrison well armed and professional. Light battle mechs sometimes accompany major sweeps or attempts to put down severe disturbances, and these machines can be housed, supplied, and repaired in the bunkers beneath the security station. The outpost's commander, Captain Jane Chi, has grown weary of her job, but has thus far been unable to transfer elsewhere. Neighbourhoods. Chancellor's Quarter. A stark contrast to the slums below, the Chancellor's Quarter is home to Cathay's elite. Despite the desperate poverty of the slums, Cathay still has the highest average standard of living on Solaris, testimony to the wealth, power, and beauty of this region. Gleaming towers or rambling estates are the rule here, all well defended and scrupulously patrolled by Lao security. Many of Solaris City's crime bosses or slum landlords make their homes here, far from the misery that they helped to create. Middletown. Living here in Middletown are middle-class residents of Cathay, who enjoy a comfortable standard of living because of the wealth and influence of the upper-class Laoists. The streets of this area are clean and well patrolled. Houses and apartments are neat and comfortable, and crime generally stays in the slums. Occasionally, the violence and corruption of the poorer sections erupt into Middletown, but so far, no major penetration has occurred. Rivertown. The lowest level of the Cathay slums lies along this filthy stretch of water, a combination of shacks on rickety piers and squalid houseboats. The population density is unbelievable, with as many as 10 adults to a single cramped room. Cathay's criminal elements, the triads, slum gangs and others find a rich source of recruits in Rivertown. Most residents are foreign workers, or their families. Tenement area. This slum area is spread out with tumble-down buildings. Most are dirty, crowded and structurally unsound, housing vast extended families. Crushing poverty is the rule, and only rarely does anyone escape this miserable existence. Drug dealers, slum gangs, extortionists, enforcers and protection racketeers are present in epidemic proportions, and a life of crime is often the best to which a young resident can aspire. Most residents of this region are foreigners, shipped in by Laoists as cheap labour. Their affairs are of little concern to the wealthy Capellans, who live in luxury high above the despair of the slums. The Maze. The absolute centre of Cathay's crime and poverty, this twisting labyrinth of streets, burned-out storefronts, decayed shacks, tottering tenements, bars and opium dens is home to many of the area's major triad gangs and crime families. The Red Cobras, the 100 Swordsmen, the Bertolis, the Yakuza, and numerous other smaller groups base their operations here, where the authorities rarely enter. A recent sweep in the maze by security forces yielded few arrests, but did result in the deaths of near a dozen security men. Hotels. Cathay Arms. The best-known hotel in Cathay is patronised by vacationing Capellans who would consider staying at any other hotel an act bordering on treason. Rooms are decorated in an imperial Chinese motif. The stiff rates, 75 to 200 L bills a night, are payable in Capellan H bills, the only currency accepted at the Cathay Arms. Loyal Capellans are not expected to cause trouble, and hotel security or the sector's police deal harshly with any illegal activity. Raven's Roost. This rundown bar and rooming house serves as HQ for the Bertoli family, currently in a contest with the Red Cobra Triad for control of the area. The second floor has been fortified with heavy metal doors, surveillance systems, sniper holes, and other traps. Manager Ivan Toviesh is a crack shot, and his bouncers always carry sidearms. These officially sanctioned arms are the only weapons allowed in the establishment. Patrons must leave all weapons at the door, on pain of death. Entertainment. The Bitter Pool. Everyday life in the slum grinds even the strongest man down. The pleasures of the bitter pool can help numb that pain, if only for a time. The pool is a dingy bar, offering numerous cheap intoxicants and brief female companionship. Its dark, smoky interior is invariably crowded with hordes of the downtrodden. Few speak, preferring to keep their thoughts to themselves. Notorious criminal and former triad leader Shad Grenville, surrounded by a fanatically loyal squad of bodyguards, rakes in massive profits from the bitter pool, using the money to keep his former comrades off his back. Grenville is a survivor, who is utterly ruthless in eliminating anyone in his way. The Brass Lily. Outwardly a surprisingly pleasant public house where the maze residents can seek refuge. The Brass Lily is actually the nerve centre for one of Cathay's most powerful triad gangs. Unlike other triad leaders who make their homes in the wealthy section of Cathay, Shun Li Bin, master of the 100 Swordsmen, chooses to live in the maze, where he can better direct his gang's operations. Shun's HQ is a virtual fortress, bristling with security devices, cameras, and alarm systems. Shun's personal bodyguards, the 100 Swordsmen from which the gang takes its name, are based here, available at a moment's notice to defend their leader. An underground bunker houses Shun's quarters, his security command, armory, and other vital locations. The Cobalt Coil. A colourful, sometimes rough tavern where mech jocks, pilots, and techs gather to exchange information and tell tales. The Coil is located on the border between the poor and middle-class sections of Cathay. Made famous by a series of semi-factual stories published under the titles Tales of the Cobalt Coil, it's also a popular destination for tourists seeking local colour and possibly an authentic Solaris bar fight. The Crane. This staggeringly expensive restaurant, patrons should be prepared to pay 100 L bills up per person, serves Szechuan Cantonese and New Xi'an-style cuisine in dimly lit luxury. Non-Capellans can expect to keep waiting for quite a while, and Liao currency is the only one accepted. The Crane is a favourite haunt of triad leaders, Capellan nobles, and hot young mech warriors. Dragon House. Dragon House is typical of the dozens of gambling houses throughout Cathay. Here, cheap liquor and opium are available while patrons gamble, play games of chance like poker, blackjack, and 4-card draks, and, most popular of all, wager on battle mech contests shown on Dragon House's expensive Trivid systems. An illegal tap into SBC transmissions enables patrons to watch battles uncut and unedited. Two brothers, Vijay and Kailash Ramajiva, manage Dragon House jointly, and are always on the lookout for muscle and hired help. Protection payments keep the Triads and Yakuza at bay, and big profits help the two brothers maintain luxurious quarters in the wealthy section of Cathay. The Jungle. The jungle rises above the Cathay slums, a tribute to the greatness of House Liao amid the pathetic tenements of the teeming masses. The Kirin. This filthy little hole caters to even baser taste than does the bitter pool. In plain words, the Kirin is an opium den, where addicts drug themselves into oblivion. Li Ban, a major operative of the Red Cobra Triad, controls the Kirin, taking a cut of all profits and staffing the place with enforcers. High-level Red Cobra meetings often take place here. A recent attack by the 100 Swordsmen resulted in several Red Cobra fatalities, setting off a massive war between the two gangs that continues to this day. The Perfumed Garden. The best kept open secret in Cathay. The Perfumed Garden is an expensive brothel that counts several prominent Liao officials among its clientele. Only Capellan citizens and their guests are admitted, but the gate fee, 50 L-bills, is stiff. Having paid, clients can do as they please, with extra charges added only for fulfilling unusual requests. The decor is exquisite, with art treasures drawn from throughout the Capellan Confederation, and individual rooms, all available for sleeping at 50 L-bills a night, rival the bedchambers of wealthy Capellans. In the centre of the building is a courtyard, filled with lush greenery, where patrons can eat, drink, and converse. Madame Mai Shi was once a celebrated court beauty on Xi'an, rumoured to have been a favourite concubine of Maximilian Liao. Even today at 60, she shows considerable beauty and charm, while running the establishment with an iron hand. Warriors' Hall. Poor mech warriors, aspiring mech warriors, and their hangers-on spend their evenings in this raucous, crowded, smelly human zoo. A combination bar, restaurant, rooming house, and brothel, Warriors' Hall restricts admittance to individuals known to management and their guests. Prices for all forms of entertainment are reasonable, kept that way by former clients who hit it big and then donate part of their winnings to this old haunt. The interior of the hall is pleasantly if sturdily furnished, with pictures of great Liao mech warriors decorating the walls. A notably blank section of one wall bore a portrait of Justin Shang, now considered a traitor by most Laoists because of his secret Davian loyalties. Despite periodic good-natured brawls or violent drinking games, Warriors' Hall is a place of camaraderie and good cheer, where all patrons are united by the common bond of the Solaris Games. Points of interest. Capellan War Memorial. This heroic figure portrays a bloody but unbowed Liao mech warrior pointing an accusing finger west toward the Black Hills and by implication, House Davian, the aggressor of the Fourth Succession War. The names of dozens of Capellan warriors who died heroically are inscribed on the statue's base. Today, over 2 decades after the Federated Sun's invasion of the Confederation, loyal Capellans still leave flowers in honour of their fallen heroes. The Glass Tower. Another elegant condominium residence, the tower is notable as the home of several triad leaders who live here, not out of any affection for one another, but because it's the one location where security is so tight, they're safe from each other. The Strand. Generally considered the most beautiful and exclusive residence in Cathay, the Strand is a soaring structure of over 70 floors, its graceful white buttresses surrounded by lush gardens. Outwardly peaceful and unguarded, the Strand is actually protected by a complex network of spy cameras, hidden guard posts and alarms. Those who live in the Strand's condominiums are among the wealthiest in Cathay, and Cathay's criminal element considers the theft of an item from the Strand to be a badge of honour. Condominiums in the Strand are dear, averaging 1,500 L-bills a month. Tandrick Palace. Roger Tandrick, head of Tandrick Stables, resides in this walled villa amid super security measures. He lives in what many consider tasteless opulence, his lack of discrimination a sign of his humble origin. Tandrick currently controls a stable of nearly a dozen mech warriors, and his fortunes have risen abruptly with the success of Joseph Paulson, a promising new mech warrior. Tandrick's parties are the scene of orgiastic excess, fully in keeping with his extravagant tastes. Some claim that he has expanded into the realm of organised crime, challenging several prominent triads for a slice of the Cathay pie, but no proof of this exists. Zelazny Estate. Tandrick's rival, Victor Zelazny, is a long-established stablemaster who has attained near legendary status. The passing years have done little to sap Zelazny's astonishing intelligence and ability to spot natural talent. It's widely known that he considers Tandrick an ill-mannered rube and a bit of a clown. With Tandrick's star currently in ascendance, Zelazny is determined to destroy his rival, once and for all. Mech Tech. Cathay Battle Mech Bay. The Lao government maintains this mech bay, allowing all major Lao stables to use it free of charge. Individual mechs are well guarded to prevent espionage or sabotage. This vast structure can house up to 30 battle mechs at one time, and is usually full. McCamus's Place. Apparently just another ragtag second-hand shop of a sort common in any part of Cathay. Guire McCamis's little storefront is actually one of the best pirate weapon and contraband shops on Solaris. Hidden rooms house his vast store of weapons and high-tech equipment. A former tech, McCamis is available for work on battle mechs and is popular with low-ranked or outlaw mech warriors. He sets his fees based on his client's apparent ability to pay. Virtually any hand-portable item is available at the shop, or else eventually located by McCamis. Some go so far as to suggest that he's now developed a secret pipeline to the clans and can obtain clan tech at outrageous prices. The recent appearance of several clan weapons on Liao mechs in the games gives some credence to this rumour. Miscellaneous. Amida Buddha Hospital. This institution, staffed exclusively by Buddhist volunteers, cares for those unable to pay for their medical treatment. As this represents a large portion of Cathay's slum population, the hospital is invariably crammed with patients, ranging from those wounded in gang battles to dying drug addicts and dispossessed mech warriors. Private rooms are non-existent. Patients are housed in long, echoing halls packed with cots, watched over by overworked nurses, and the hospital's all too few doctors. Lack of money and resources mean that the care is sometimes only a few steps above primitive shamanism, and the recovery rate is low, despite the staff's concern and slavish devotion. The docks. Though the Solaris River is not an important trade route, some barges and small boats do give it river traffic. Food, luxury items, and other goods are offloaded here prior to the sale or storage in the warehouse district. Commerce in the dock area is often a front for such illegal activities as smuggling of contraband, weapons, and mech parts. Warrior's Way Brokerage. Andre Rigsby works the low end of the mech circuit, matching out-of-work or dispossessed warriors to disreputable or broke establishments. Her cut is 10% of the mech warrior's first-year purses, which is considered quite reasonable. Rigsby is a pleasant person, but quickly turns nasty if she feels she's been cheated, or double-crossed.